So this was what I pulled this card thinking about, which is like when we're in this place of changing labels and getting in touch with who we really are. So this was the card that I pulled. So when I've not read it yet, and that's where I was like, okay, really dark, big eye, lots of skulls. Oh, not for me, not for me. Okay. So this card is the Bardo, the liminal, the in-between, the transition. Of course it is. Okay. It is said that the Bardo is a place between this life and the next, a liminal realm through which souls pass. Envisioning the inherently mysterious space creates the potential for us to rise above the concerns of this world and see our relationship through a cosmic and timeless lens. We may receive messages from those who are no longer with us or see visions of lives not yet lived. In the Bardo, there is a potential to forgive the unforgivable, to say the unsaid, to see the unseen, and to love the unloved, to let go of all the things that cause us pain. The Bardo suspends us into a spaciousness for just long enough to open us to a higher wisdom. Its energy does not belong to this earth as we know it, but rather the cosmic network of which we are all a single thread. When light, it creates spaciousness, grace, forgiveness, and truth. Mm-hmm. And when dark, it creates disassociation and torment. When the veil between the life and the next is thinned, energy is stirred. This allows for remarkable healing and vision. The Bardo is not to be feared. Take advantage of its energy by recognizing what needs to be resolved. Trust there is a message from beyond. Who is speaking? Go ahead and listen. Okay, here's what's crazy to me about this is ultimately, so I'm working on a solo show, loosely titled. I've got lots of loose titles, but I love the idea of really it's micro, macro, cosmo, the story of me, the story of us, and the story of where we're going. And that's really what I feel about this Bardo card. So I feel like I'm going to have to come back to this. Maybe next week will be part 2 for this episode of diving in a little bit deeper, which is it's us on this micro level and then this macro level. And then in the reality, which it's like, there's this huge sense of oneness. And it's so interesting to me that the hardest part for us is our connection in what we think is to each other. Like our connection to oneness, that's its own, a hero's journey, right? And then it's like, okay, fuck, now we have to figure out how to identify with ourselves and have a relationship with ourselves. Again, everything we've been talking about this podcast, relationship to oneness and all of that. How do you relate to yourself? How do you show up in the world so that we can show up with each other? Because ultimately it's like, that's the shit sandwich. You know, you've got this beautiful brioche bread on both sides. You got this micro and this macro, and then right in the middle is just a shit sandwich where we're all just trying to figure it out. And like I said, it's the Bardo. We're all just floating in the middle of space.